To begin our Sunrise Smart Start, we are still tracking these remnants of barrels set to make their way through our region as the residents are trying to prepare for any sudden flooding. In light of that, Ron Spitzer is live outside with what we can expect for the rest of the day. Ron, it's okay for now.
Yes, it seems to be okay for now. Now, it was just last year that the city of Canandaigua experienced flooding on its West Gibson Street. Now, that caused thousands of dollars of damage to each house in that area, which is why Ontario County decided to hand out sandbags to city residents who choose to pick them up. City Manager John Goodwin says in a post, quote, "This is a proactive measure not intended to cause alarm." Those who live in the area quickly took advantage with an important message: be prepared.
Any little thing we can do to be prepared. In this case, we're just going to put some sandbags along the back cellar, basement door. I think I would encourage everybody to keep checking in with your local municipal officials and just encourage anything that can be done to mitigate the floods, because I don't think this was isolated. I think this will continue.
Now, at 7 p.m. yesterday, the city notified residents that there are no more sandbags and they have exhausted those resources. No word yet on whether they will resupply for any residents who wish to pick any up. Michaela, back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Ron. We will certainly keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, events in our area are already being postponed or canceled due to this weather. Today's midday bash, as well as the concerts by the shore, both postponed. The new Rochester Farmers Market, which was set to open for the first time today, that's been canceled. Instead, we'll be back next week, Wednesday, from 4 to 7. Meanwhile, fans looking forward to the Jason Mraz performance tonight at CMAC. That's reportedly going on rain or shine, but it is not clear how plans may change due to thunderstorms. However, we're told there will be no refunds given due to the rain. Now, turning now to James, trying to keep us prepared of everything we can expect for the storm front. You actually mentioned several times tornadoes are not out of our wheelhouse today.
The storm system has had a history of producing tornadoes across a lot of the country, and so that raises our concern for it. Now, if the storm system was chugging along the United States and didn't produce any, then we'd say, okay, the chances are low. But it raises up for us. Wind could be possible as well. Heavy rain is almost a slam dunk there with that one, and then lightning. That's going to be a factor as well. Storm system right now across Niagara County that could scrape up towards Orleans County, but otherwise we'll wait another couple hours until these storms get going. We'll take a look at the 8-day forecast at the end of the show. Michaela?
All right, thank you, James. Keeping us prepared ahead of our weather. I'm keeping you prepared ahead of your sunrise commute. Your traffic here across the west side still moving along smoothly as there are no accidents to report across 390, 490, and 590. 104 on the thruway looking great. Also, that accident we mentioned to you earlier in the morning, West Henrietta Road, that has now been cleared. So let's continue to have a nice, safe Wednesday and keep those potentially wet roads in mind for later in the afternoon. In continuing coverage, the remains of fallen officer Jamison Ritter, now back home in Webster, as loved ones prepare for his funeral services throughout the weekend. Ritter was killed in the line of duty, fatally shot while answering a call and serving as a member of the Cleveland Police Department. Now, in New York State, police and local law enforcement, as we're watching here, personally escorted his remains back home to Webster during a somber procession yesterday. His wake will be held at the Falvo Funeral Home in Webster. The funeral will follow Saturday morning at the Browncroft Community Church. The investigation continues into a multi-car crash during a traffic stop on 590 in Irondequoit last night. It involved 3 vehicles, including a state trooper. Troopers say that shortly after one of their members had pulled over 29-year-old Edith Cubero, who was driving a Chevy, a Dodge Ram 1500 driven by 59-year-old Donald Natale sideswiped the patrol car, hit the Chevy, and causing that vehicle to flip over. The trooper and both drivers taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Well, over to a new homicide update from police where officers say Jeremy Prescott is that man who was shot and killed on his porch yesterday afternoon. Officers say that a fight outside of Prescott's home on Lorenzo Street led to that deadly shooting just before 2 p.m. First responders were on scene, but RPD says that despite their life-saving efforts, Prescott died on his front porch at only 32 years old. Investigators ask anyone with information or even home video, please call 911. The Rochester Board of Education has voted to keep RPD at select schools as part of a summer detail. At last night's meeting, board members approved a nearly $91,000 agreement with the Rochester Police Department, paying to have some of the officers at the school campuses during arrival and dismissal. Members of the board, some of them said it was a good thing, taking into account police wait times, low staffing, while others pointed out there are other ways to approach emergencies.
Having that background in law enforcement for 27 years, I know that just having a police officer outside the schools is a deterrent and may, again, as the president said, prohibit students from doing something that, or parents, that they wouldn't have normally done because just they see that presence out in the school district.
You know, in my statement, I don't question, you know, the importance of having a police officer there, but I just also do believe that there's better ways to go down that avenue. There's organizations like Rise Up Rochester, there's community organizations that's trained in de-escalation, and that will actually be able to create a relationship and create a bond with our students of mentorship and things of that sort that will be a lot more impactful than a police officer sitting on the campus, not doing much.
Well, a bulk of the discussions last night centered around the topic. All the resolutions on the agenda were approved despite some no votes from board members. All right, before we leave you for the morning, we want that final check of our weather, trying to prepare for our day, James. Yeah. At least for now, we don't have too much to slow us down.
No, but you can see the rain when it comes in.
Oh, we certainly will. We can already see what I can only sense as a precursor, those heavy clouds right overhead.
Well, that's rain right there. If you look on the right side of the screen, that is rain. So we've got rain coming down in spots on the east side there, a quick downpour popping up. You can see that across Penfield there. It just kind of stretches over into East Rochester. And then also a stronger storm over in Niagara County. We do expect storms to really just blossom over the next few hours, moving through noontime, and then as we get into the afternoon as well. Numbers in the mid-80s there. Strong storms could be potentially severe, last till give it to 8 or 9 p.m., and then they eventually taper off. Going into tomorrow, rest of the week. Thursday, not too bad with some morning showers. Friday, Saturday look good. Numbers in the 60s, mid-80s for highs, right around average for mid-July. And then showers, thunderstorms return by early next week.
All right, we'll certainly keep an eye on those, but I'm looking forward to clearing out in time for the weekend.
There you go.
Thank you for watching News 8 at Sunrise. Our next update is in 30 minutes, but for now, we'll say have a great morning, have a great day.
News 8 wherever you are, on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, Twitter, and on our app for news and weather.